Hey everybody, Joe Lewis here at Battle Rankings Live. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, happy New Year. So this is the first show for 2021. Uh, so hopefully you're shaking the dust off of 2020 or not. But hey, anyway, we soldier on. Uh, First of all, I'm here. I am with my lovely and talented producer, Ann. Say hi, Ann.
Hi, Anne.
And uh, so, you know, one of the things I kind of wanted to say here at the beginning, you know, we're kind of, I don't know, I think Battle Rankings Live has kind of morphed into something. And that something is that we're a little bit different from other people or other organizations that bring you, um, Flames of War or Team Yankee content, and in the sense of this, we actually do a deep dive into the material. So we'll actually go in and actually talk about uh, um, tips for players, builds, units, the rules, and we have a lot of content with that. And I think and the other thing is that it's just not me blabbing at you. I actually bring in what I call SMEs, subject matter experts. And subject matter experts, they blab at you. No, the thing about subject matter experts is they are an expert in their subject. So I know a lot of people who play this game, and I try to find the best people for the subject that we're doing. I line these people up to play, not to play. Well, yeah, we play, but no, I line these people up so that they can give you their expert opinion because they are successful in what they do, playing these units or something like that. So that's what we do. And the other thing, by doing it live, we can. What I'm looking for is your questions. So you can post your questions, and we'll try to answer them as many as we can on the live. So that kind of we have a dialogue
Oh,
going
yeah,
back.
today is Epiphany, so it is Christmas for the Orthodox.
It oh
It's the
well,
Orthodox Christmas. It's also Christmas in other parts of the world, like in Italy and stuff like that. They exchange gifts today.
it's another Christmas show.
It's another Christmas show.
Get,
It's Epiphany. You're going to have an epiphany.
I'm gonna
Everybody's
have
going
an
to have an epiphany.
epiphany. Hey, get Andy on the phone so you can.
It's the 12th day of Christmas.
Oh, and my true love gave to me.
Yeah.
What'd she give me?
Um, 12 drummers drumming, I think.
12 drummers.
Drumming. I think that's the 12th day.
12 drummers drumming. 11
Lords leaping.
11 lords leaping.
10 ladies dancing. 9. I can't remember.
9.
Yeah.
I don't know what is 9. 8.
Maids milking. 7 swans are swimming. 60 sleighing.
60.
5 golden rings. 4 calling birds. 3 French hens. 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. But I cannot remember what 9 is. 9. Let's see.
9 goose laying.
11 lords of dancing. 10 ladies dancing.
All right.
I'll figure it out.
All right. Well, hold on. We have the Google. And by the way, I have.
Sherman's going to say hello.
Yes, I have worked over Christmas. Had a couple days off, and I reworked Studio A, and now it allows a visitor. Hello. I know some of you are probably missing Sherman. Say hello, Sherman. Okay. Everybody here. Anyway, but hey, speaking of SMEs, we were.
Oh, it's 10 lords of leaping. Sorry, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords of leaping, 9 ladies dancing. So 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords of leaping, 9 ladies dancing. But today is definitely 12 drummers drumming. So
12 drummers drumming.
12th day of Christmas, and in many Latin-based countries like Italy and Spain, they celebrate today.
Well, Merry Christmas to our Latin
and Orthodox people.
Yeah, Latin and Orthodox people. Actually, I went to high school with a guy who's now a Orthodox, not priest, deacon? Deacon.
Deacon?
He's an Orthodox deacon.
Or is he Byzantine?
Byzantine.
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 Byzantine means he's more he's Catholic, but he's in the Byzantine rite, which celebrates the Orthodox.
Right. Yeah. And then he sends out reminders letting us all know that, so, which is pretty cool. Up in Lafayette.
Sherman's gonna look like that one goofy cat from the meme.
Yeah.
Where you're rubbing his head. He looks tossing his head up and down.
Anyway, so now all that. So now we got the Christmas thing out. We got Sherman out. Studio A is I reoriented the desk, moved some stuff around. I still in the middle of organizing everything, but we made improvements. So. Anyway, that's all for you, to benefit for you. We did all this. Think they bought that?
Right, I hope so.
Okay, we'll find out if they bought it. Okay, anyway, speaking of SMEs, one of our SMEs unfortunately dropped today. So we are going to continue to have this conversation about the HeroShock rifle and the Hero Motor debate, because back in early December, when we were rating the vibration book, we came out when we were rating it. We said maybe the meta was the Hero Motor rifle. Maybe that's the meta to take, because that's just a tough nut to crack. And then some people who were doing the HeroShock took some offense to it. I don't know. So anyway, Queensberry rules, right? Anyway, that's what we were planning to do, but anyway, that fell through. But we're going to discuss it anyway, and we're going to bring in our SME. Brian, are you there?
So, we meet again.
Yes. Yes.
We meet again. Yeah.
I'm the one petting the cat. Yeah.
We put the camera down so you can see the cat.
Yeah. So, what do I want, Mr. Bond? I want you to die. Anyway, different guy than the cat petting guy. Anyway, so let's talk about so when Brian was our SME when we were going through this book and the Army's in it back in December, and so the Hero thing, HeroShock Hero rifle. No, it was the wow. Times fly. It's actually the beginning of November. Yeah. And
I've had to lock mine out because they'd be all over the place in here. This is
well, the thing is, for Ann, for the producer, I put another desk right across so I can look at her and look at the camera. Because before I was doing this thing where I was like looking like this and like, what the hell are you looking at? So I did it. And she's like, straight across from me. So now I could gaze in her eyes lovingly.
And I can pretend you're doing that to me. So, right.
Actually, everyone thinks I'm gazing in their eyes lovingly. I'm the next Brad Pitt. Anyway, so we had this discussion, and one of the things that was going to come out with it was that we were going to. Well, I know. Let's go over the agenda before I go too far. So I was looking at the agenda this way. What we're going to do is we're going to compare the formations themselves. then look at the individual infantry company. So that's the platoon or the company. Look at the unique card options. I don't think there's too many, or if any. And a 100-point list comparison, or 105. So we're going to look at masters. There was 3 lists, 2 shock, 1 rifle that was there. Look at those 100-point lists, and then look at some 105 lists that we kind of came up with afterwards. And we'll definitely open it up for some Q&A if you want to figure out if you want to build one of these wonderful lists. So what I did here is oh, look at that, it's bigger. I blew it out, anyway, these little boxes here, those are the common, that both lists have the same options. So, you get your Hero Shock rifle guys, the Storm, Scout, and one more 45, and the Hero rifle has other options. Brian, what do you think about the options for the Hero motor rifle?
Well, it's a lot more comprehensive of what you can take within that formation. You have integrated tank support, which is I'd not necessarily say it's essential, but it's a very compelling. I don't have to reach out for a support option that can be ignored. It's part of that formation to keep that formation healthy. You have the integrated scout platoon, which can be replaced with decoy. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And integrated AA, you have much more stout anti-tank capabilities. You have an additional 82 millimeter mortar, which is a great little mortar. And then, of course, you have the Reiki platoon that's integrated in. And probably one of the most important things, you have that third Hero motor rifle that is can really help put you over the edge of being able to attack or defend with this formation. Yeah,
it is amazing how a third infantry platoon really starts freeing up assets.
Yeah, in fact, I played a game this past weekend where my opponent only had 2 rifle, and he was defending against my force that had 3 infantry in it, and he was defending, I was attacking, and I was able to push. We were playing counterattack, and I was able to push one objective with 2 infantry, and the third one, went after his objective in his deployment. And because of that, because I had the flexibility, I had a very stout, 2 infantry platoons going after the far objective. He wanted to rotate over, but he couldn't because I have that third. And if he had a third, he could have put a roadblock, even a small. He could put a roadblock up. That would have delayed, my infantry getting to the objective in his deployment. It just allows you a lot more flexibility when you start adding that a legitimate third platoon in your formation.
Okay. Well, so for the Hero Shock, I'm kind of looking at the screen here. Yeah, for the Hero Shock, I'm getting a third. It's kind of interesting. You can go Hero Shock, and your third option is either a Storm or Hero's SMG company.
Yeah.
Which is neither. The Storm is a little bit more expensive. We'll go into that in the next segment. But you don't have 3 Hero Shock options. Though the SMG is nice. Also, you have the Scout Platoon versus the other one doesn't really have a Scout option. It has the cars or the Armored Recon. I like the Armored Recon, but I can't always just squeeze it in. And the Reconnaissance Platoon by itself is kind of a little weak. But but you get two boxes of 45 mortars. I'm sorry, 45 anti-tank, and you do have the same option as a 82 millimeter and 120 millimeter. You just don't get the you have to take one of each, which I particularly don't mind, but about the rest of it's kind of the same. Oh, the anti-air is with the motor.
Yeah, so pretty good about going around killing small stuff, and it's a pretty good platoon for that use. Yeah, I mean the gun teams. I mean, if you're if the meta in your area is armored cars, then I think the 45 with its AT8 is probably sufficient. Otherwise, it's a little bit on the light side. So I don't think you would ever take the 45s in the Hero Shock, whereas in the motor rifle you have a couple, or the 57, which is AT11, which you can do some damage, and the 76, which is AT9. So this is a lot better AT assets with the motor rifle.
Right.
Not that I would take gun teams. I think they're overpriced. But if you wanted to, then it's there.
So let's look at the main units themselves. So I'll start with the Hero Shock. You can get 13 plus the Karmazar for 11 points. I think comparing the two, I think stat-wise, the Hero has a +2 to hit an assault. Just a bunch of angry men.
I think you're probably missing the most basic benefit of the motor rifle over the shock rifle, and that's the motor rifle rate of fire 2 all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas the shock is this rate of fire 1. To me, that's the biggest advantage. So when you're looking at points, the Hero Shock is 0.8 points a team for the small, and then 0.78 or 0.79 for the large. And when you take a look at the motor rifle, it's 1 point for the small and 1.09 for the large. So just for 0.2 points more, you're getting that additional rate of fire. And the other benefit is, the 2 on assaults, which is big when you start combining it with cards like an RPG card.
Right.
You don't get the flamethrower, but I'm not big on the flamethrower teams anyway, or flamethrower infantry teams. The flamethrower vehicles are a lot better bang for the buck, in my opinion. But outside of that, there's, to me, it's no comparison. The motor rifle is just much better value than the shock rifle.
Well, then let's look at the Storm. 14 points for 7 SMGs, PTRD, a heavy machine gun, and 1 mortar. I think the big thing here is that they're always fearless. They also hit 2 in assaults. And they're hit on 4s.
But you also get teams that are useless.
Yeah.
And it's 10. I mean, you're 1.4 points a team. To me, is really pushing. I mean, it's like half of the cost of a T-34. So, I mean, you're getting a mortar team, which is, I mean, everybody knows that's just a mistaken identity team. PTRD, which doesn't work very well on the move, as well as the HMG team. So you're essentially only getting, 7 teams that are worth their salt and 3 teams that are just mistaken identity targets. That's just not good value in my opinion.
Well, Andrew did bring up a good point, which is until they fix the flamethrower rate of fire while pinned, it is a bargain.
Well, not particularly. I mean, and here's the thing with the flamethrower is it can be singled out, and it can be avoided. It can't be everywhere in your force unless you're bunching up in a very tight group. That flamethrower is not going to come into effect in like defensive fire, and if it's running around out in the open, there's plenty of ways to deal with infantry to get it to single out. So that's the reason why I think that infantry flamethrower teams are just not worth the 2 extra points. If you needed flamethrowers in your list, there's plenty of vehicles that much more cost effective to bring.
Okay. Then, well, pretty much it's just the points. They're similar. I wonder what that sounds like on the mic. Cat rubbing on microphone. So probably like a static sound. Yeah, I think between the two, it's just about what you get. You get the 13-1 or the 10-1, 1 point more for the hero, but you get the rate of fire 2 always, which is actually really nice, especially with being pinned and someone's coming in on you. They both are limited by the Commissar. Yeah.
He's trying to get the key to.
Oh. They just see it to you. Oh, they see him. And he's stealing the show here. All the cats are starved for attention. Anyway, we'll just work around with the I need attention cat. The cat's just moving between my wife and I on our different desks. You pet me. Now you pet me. Now you pet me. Anyway. So, all right. So we got that going on. I know you get a couple more guys, but that rate of fire 1 is that I think that hurts. Anyway. Oh, okay. So, let's look at what some people did with their masters list. So the first one here is Fretz's, then Aaron, heck if I could say his last name. They both had shock. And then, now, you gotta remember, Chris Jackson plays a little bit different game than the rest of us, and this is a list that he puts together, and he's extremely successful with it. I don't know if it's, for other people, but this is a list that he does and does very well. I actually played Fretz and Aaron in Masters. So let me do this real quick. Talk back us, and so we can let's make the list look bigger. Bear with me. I probably should have planned this ahead. But, my skills with here we go. So yeah, Chris. So he came out. What did he do? He did the HQ two a full minor. He added a flamethrower to the big one and added a machine gun to the second. I need a better microphone. Okay.
Can you hear him okay, Brian?
No, it's Eric is saying I need a better microphone. I don't know. You can hear me well. Okay, Brian, right? Brian?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, great. What else did he do here? And then he added Stewarts. He had 3 Panthers, and make your own luck. And the grenade card, Parson Guide, and reconnaissance by combat. Pretty much. I think these are kind of like standard. I thought he had a plane. Oh yeah, he did have. Yeah, here's his plane. He had some recon, more recon, and 6 T-34s, 85s. One of the things he did do is make your own luck. When he found it advantageous for the plane to show up, he used that card to make sure that the plane showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty standard. You have an 11-point platoon there, essentially, with the plane that has AT-8, and then you make them show up the first round, and when everybody's grouped together, and then you take your chances after that.
Right. So it's a pretty decent list. I'll tell you what, I'll talk about Aaron. So when I played Chris, we ended up playing Contact, and I was the defender, and he waited until my Churchill. I was playing British. He waited until my Crocodile showed up. But they showed up on like turn 6. I just, turn 3, 4, turn 5. 3, 4, I just didn't get any reserves. Turn 6, it was almost, by that time they were on, I think I got like 2 moves with them. And I was pushing him. I was pushing on his side. I know he was attacking, but I was pushing. You
always attack.
I'm always attack. Attack! Yeah. I don't want to get any news from the front that we're holding anything. We're gonna go through like crap through a goose. So that's but he wanted to see where my my crocodiles were first, and then he was going to make a move, but they came in so late. We ended up going 3-3.
That's a very hard mission for a defender to win.
Well, at least I was on his side of the table trying.
Yeah.
Bring this front. Then this one. This is Aaron's. So Aaron, similar, had Hero, the Shock, the SMG group, both set of mortars, the tank cards for all his infantry, the grenades. He had the decoy tanks, 4 ISU 122s, and 4 T-34s. So that was pretty good. That one, when I played Aaron, I played him in but what's the like surrounded? It's called Bridgehead. We played in Bridgehead. He was defending, and I had a decent place to come on through. There's a video out of us playing that game, and I was able to sneak it out there at the end and take the objective. Uh, Between my artillery and my Crocs, the crocodiles just decimated the infantry. Just and then because then with a couple of assaults, he had to move stuff, and then my infantry was just shooting that stuff up. Yeah, it was a cluster on his. Plus, he was packed so tight. That's a lot of stands to get into that little box. So I don't know, maybe that was a disadvantage, but anyway, I was able to sneak out a win right there at the last turn. I think we went 6-3, so it was a difficult slog. But they held up their own. I think I don't know. Did his assaults? Yeah, I don't know if the +3 versus the +2 really hurt him because the assaults didn't really last that long. Yeah, it was interesting. I think I had the right force for that mission, and that worked out for me.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, you had your Achilles were able to really take care of the Panthers and pretty quickly, and then the Panthers once they were gone, there's nothing to challenge the Crocs. So that I don't know what he was doing with his 122s.
They could have been late.
Souring.
He brought on.
Yeah, I'm souring a little bit on the 120 on the ISU line. It's just I don't know. I just don't think they're overly effective for the points that as little points as they cost.
Well, once you want to take care, do this one.
Well, as you mentioned before, Chris kind of marches to his own tune. I'm not sure he's played this mix of stuff before, but he took the 2 motor rifles, with the PTRDs. I'm trying to remember. I think he defended a lot with this list.
Sounds about right.
I think so, if I remember correctly. And it took the mandatory 3 82 mortars and 6 120 mortars. I think everybody is on board with that. And then he took the 57, which is the AT-11, the BA-64s, the AA platoon, which again is good at killing small stuff. Then for his 3rd infantry platoon, instead of just taking another motor rifle, he reached out for the engineer sapper, and I think that's probably due to the way that we had the rules for masters, which you did have to declare before the tournament what your lineup was, an engineer sapper. Where I think on Facebook Wayne has said that you're supposed to do that. For us, for the masters tournament, it was declare before the game begins. So, and then he took the rifle company, which is just the basic, 4+ infantry say rifle, SU-100s for the big AT, and then he took the RPG-6 cards so that every infantry group had its RPG-6, which with a 2+ in assault, your tanks are just going to evaporate, because you're skill on 2 and then you just blast them with RPG. The partisan band, I think that's the reroll reserves or make your opponent reroll reserves, something along those lines. And then recon by combat, which allows them to move his mortar templates. So pretty solid and effective list.
No, the Partisans ban is you take one of your things and they become on the table.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's what he was doing with his rifle company. I remember that now. Yeah, there's four partisan cards, and I can never remember which one is which.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he took the rifle company and always had that on the table, which is it's 12 points. So that brings it. He only had to keep 30 in reserve.
Yeah.
It's
I don't think you would take the engineer sapper company again if you have to declare before tournament what the lineup is. So I think you would probably reallocate those points into another hero motor. And I'm not sure he would play this particular format or this particular formation like this again. I think he's got some wasted points, like with the 57 millimeter. I guess he needed some more high AT, but it's just not maneuverable enough. And if you drop some orders on them, it's not like they're going to get up and really move too far away from that. But in the SU-100s, I didn't get a AAR on how they worked. I probably should have, but I think they're across of 5. So they, you have to be really careful where you put those guys.
Yeah, I do know a lot of his games went late, deep into the.
Yeah, it's not very maneuverable. This particular force, you really kind of needed some T-30-45 or something in there to really kind of move around. So I think he defended most of his games, I think. And, we got how to get this probably pretty deep in that, but he's just jelly that I can grow here.
Yeah, I'm with them. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the most optimal list, but pretty solid. I mean, if your plan is to defend, I mean, you can't do too much better.
Right. But let's take a look at. You came up with some 105 points because 105 being the Nationals points this year, if we ever get to play a Nationals. Hey, who knows? Well, we know Adepticon was canceled, Vegas is canceled, but Historicon is still on.
And we don't have a Southern Nationals yet, do we? Maybe at Wolf's Creek or back at Elizabethton?
No, well, there's Wolf Creek's going on, but Wolf Creek's just Wolf Creek.
I meant have a Southern Nationals at Hard Knocks.
Oh, I don't know. It probably have to, I don't know. We'll see what they come up with. I don't know. We'll see what the next, 100 days bring. Yeah. So, yeah.
This is a great special, by the way.
This list.
So again, this is a great special. Special being that because Jake is a special individual, but he's all about the 14 BA64s. So I did a mashup between that and what a good friend of ours, Mark Bain, is running, and that's hero motor, 3 infantry, put your RPG 6 cards on it. He's really kind of fallen in love with the SU-76s and the IS-2s, and they're a beast. The IS-2s are IS-2s. They're difficult to handle. But within that, he's taken 2 small mortars, and then the 4 T-34-85s, which is generally his ambush unit. I played him against a list that was similar to this. I didn't have the extra BA-64s, and you only had 3 IS-2s in that list. And this is a pretty stout list. Fortunately for me, I had like 5 artillery batteries, so I was able to get rid of a lot of the infantry. But with a list that I normally run that may have 1 or 2, I mean, this is a daunting list to try to power through. And he's got the mobility. I'd say mobility. Airport mobility. I'm talking about the BA-64s, but that's a lot of machine gun shots for infantry that are trying to attack into this list to deal with. I mean, you have to actually pay attention to where those things are at on the board.
Someone seems to be. What is an RPG-64?
That's a tank rider. On the BA-64, that's got an RPG-6 card.
He's on a BA-64 with an RPG.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. It's right into a vehicle, set it off.
Yeah. Actually, before you go on, you have to play some Steppenwolf to get that guy going, man.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think this is you got the IS-2s, you got some mobility, you got the infantry, you got the hand grenade, the anti-grenade tank grenades.
And you can attack or defend with this list. So it works well either way.
Yeah. It does work. Interesting. Well, then let's look at the next one you made up. Whoop.
Yeah, this is a little bit different, and kind of going back to our earlier conversation about flamethrowers. This is more centered around, you have the hero motor because the infantry is just awesome, and then you have the 6 of the 120 mortars, which gives you that reroll. You have this is more focused around attacking as opposed to being more balanced. Then you have the 122 Hauser, and then with the under cover of smoke. And the intent here is to try to get those OT-34s, which were upgraded with the 85 gun on it, into an effective range where they can start doing what they need to be doing. You also have Panthers in this list for your high AT if you need it. And then I think I had an extra point, so that I put the Hero Fenkos on there so that you can put the SMG on the back of the plane tanks, and in true Soviet fashion, just again, riding on the back of these highly volatile T-34.
I'm looking at the flame tank. Yeah, the flame tank. So you got 8 of them, which is a lot. Which is and the rate of fire 3, 4-inch move. Yeah, that's if all 8 make it there, that's a lot of shots. Especially you can get it nice and spread out.
Yeah. You can attack multiple units. You're not just isolated, because generally you have like infantry and then something next to the infantry protecting it. So it gives you the flexibility to kind of engage all of those threats at one time. And it's not a bad defensive list. You have everything on the board besides maybe the OT-34s and one of your infantry. So generally like SMG infantry. So that puts you right at 44 points, which is 105, 42. So you're wasting 2 points, but that's a pretty strong that's a lot of ET-12 shots coming in from a table edge as well as the flamethrowers. So you could defend with this, but I think it's a lot stronger force attacking.
So there was a question here. How well is an overloaded flamethrower going to do against Duggan vets?
That's why you
hit 1 out of 18 shots.
Yeah, that's why you have infantry.
Actually, you think you would hit 3 out of 18, right?
So if you thought that that was going to be an issue, then you could start dropping your artillery. You have 2 major artillery templates that they're either going to sit around and die or they're going to get up and move. And you got to find your opportunities to use flamethrower.
So basically, use all your tools in your tool set, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's not a one trick pony. You have other things in that force that can do.
I mean, if all you had was OT-34s, everything will look like barbecue, right?
Yeah. I think they need to come out with an OT-34, battalion for the Soviets. That would be
pretty crispy.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. So you got, but you want to explain the undercover smoke for those who might not know?
Sure. So undercover smoke says that at the beginning, when you place range-in markers, in lieu of placing a range-in marker, you just place smoke. It requires 1 of 2 batteries. You either take the 122s or the 76 battery. They're the same point. The 122 just makes a lot more sense. I believe it's a 3-3. The direct fire is lower, but if you're using direct fire with your 122s, things have gone horribly wrong. So you put smoke at the beginning of the game. It's standard smoke, so 16 inches for the 4-gun battery, and then it stays around for 2 turns, which is huge. Now the artillery bombard, the 122s can't fire the first turn, but I think that's a pretty solid exchange for having 2 rounds of smoke where you can potentially block off ambush locations, or just trying to get in a counterattack, try to get or a breakthrough. You're just trying to get to the other side. It's and it doesn't even, you don't even need to be the attacker to do that. And he's a couple of hairs short of a full head. You can be the defender and do this. So it's a pretty solid card.
Yeah. Scott was asking, will I publish these lists after the live cast? Sure, why not? I'll put them up. I'll get them somewhere where you can get them. But Scott, make sure to do that. I'll notify when they're up. Make sure you and your loved ones, like and follow and subscribe to Facebook, Battle Rankings Live, YouTube, where we're broadcasting this also, so you can get it there. Just in case someone doesn't like the fact that we talk about World War II Germans, and somehow we get kicked off. You never know. I mean, I don't have lawyers trying to get the site back. Oh, hey Scott, thanks. You know what? Let's all be like Scott and subscribe to Bo. But yeah. This undercover of smoke is really interesting. The 1-turn bombardment. Well, it basically acts as you do the bombardment. You get 2 rounds of smoke, and that gun that fired the bombardment, it could try to range in on the second turn while the smoke is still up. So pretty cool. It's interesting. When in Masters, Tom Burgess had this with his T-34 Horde, and he tried to use it on me. It was a little effective, but my French partisans were able to beat back his his assault. Well, actually, I had like 6 shots and I got 5 hits, and all of a sudden his SMGs are just standing in the middle of the street, feeling a little weird,
Yeah.
Questioning life choices, and then the next turn there was pretty much
fingers are like, how did that happen?
yeah. I was like, woohoo! French commies versus the real commies. Anyway, so that was an interesting. But that actually that removed the smile on his face. Because you would think, hey, at least I'm going to get in and beat up someone. And I was like, oh, well, here goes nothing. Oh, hey, look, 5 hits. So the question is, how many missions is this useless?
I believe it's 3.
Yeah, the fair fights.
Yeah. Encounter, free for all,
Dust up.
dust up.
Yep. You can put it in everything else. Actually, it wouldn't be such a bad thing, even if you're defending in like counterattack or something like that. Putting it up.
Yeah, giving yourself 3 coverage from your infantry, run across the board, try to get to the objective.
Yeah. It's at the start of the game. Instead of placing one of your range in markers, place a smoke screen. Yeah, so basically the smoke screen goes up before units get put on the table.
That's correct.
So, yeah, that's everyone knows where it begins. Where it's at. No mystery.
But your opponent doesn't know if you're going to use it or not. So.
No, actually, instead of placing one,
you don't have to go behind the smoke.
Oh, well, I see what you're saying. The smoke's there, but you don't know if you're at, you don't have to wait it.
Yeah, I don't have to use it as in I don't have to use it for cover. I could place it where I think that you think that do the whole Princess Bride thing, and just come through a different area.
Right. Hold on, I want to look up something. Basically, I think Jake's probably like.
Well, it's not 1 out of 3; it's 3 out of 10. So
right,
70%.
Oh, that's why he's saying 1/3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't know how many different missions are there. I don't know. I always feel like I'm playing the same clan or same one. Hey, what about
a new Matrix? That's going to be the case.
5, 6,
So,
7, 9. Yeah, 9. Okay. So yeah, basically 1/3.
So 67% of the time, it's effective.
Well, it depends what you pick for your mission. Your mission type, right? If you and your opponent pick the same stance, if you pick the same stance, you're probably playing a fair fight. If you don't, well, there you go. All right, let's look at the list I made like in 2 minutes right before this broadcast started. So I did a hero shop. I did the 13 units. Basically 2 of the infantry full, added the flamethrower for what the heck. Took both the mortars, 6 units of each. I also made sure I had 2 recon reconnaissance by combat, so I can put those cards out, move those things out there. I did take the 3 Panthers, 4 IS-2s, the plane, another thing in recon. I gave both the infantry platoons grenades, and make my own luck to do the frets maneuver of make sure the plane comes in, and that's pretty much it. So that was 105, which
Junk. It's garbage. I mean, 0 shot, right? That's
I don't know. Doesn't seem too bad to me. Maybe I. Not too bad.
you know, it's just you know, it's a very small formation. You know, a lot of that can be integrated. Here at Motor, you can integrate the Panthers into the B or the BAs, one or the other. It's you can drop the 82s down to 3. I mean, there's a lot of free points that you could free up to beef up that formation. Get yourself a 3rd infantry platoon, like what we were talking about earlier. That can be so vital in games. Those are large infantry stands, large infantry platoons, but are you really going to be able to utilize them other than just by taking casualties? They'll still be combat effective far longer than obviously a smaller one will. But in things like assaults, you're not really going to be able to utilize the full force of that. So it's a lot easier to deal with the mobility of a smaller platoon and being able to take over buildings and stuff like that, or fall back into buildings. And with 15 stands of infantry, some people are just going to be left out to dry.
Yeah, and you see, I'm usually not pushing that many stands because you either have Germans or they're dying, or I have Germans there and they're dying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think maybe with this list, I probably would get rid of the flamethrowers and get rid of the plane. That would give me.
I mean, especially the 86. They're really not. I mean, what are you taking the planes for that have 86? It's to kill west. I mean, it's an 8-point west killer, including to make your own wet card.
Right.
So, is that a great use of those points? Probably not. You can accomplish the same thing with mortars or artillery if they're really becoming a problem. It probably about the same odds. Jake can probably tell you the odds of getting Sturmovix in without make your own light plus. Hitting, we'll say SS West, since that is the kind of flavor of the moment, versus just trying to kill them with, 120 mortars. It's probably similar. But yeah, and again, that's the reason why I like the motor rifle is you can take those points and invest it into your formation and make it a little bit more stout, and you don't have to be as careful with what you have in that formation, and you'll have units that can contribute to the game every turn.
So, question here. Mortars killing weaves?
Yeah. Or 122 millimeters, which is a 3. So on a 1/3 chance, you're going to roll a 1 or a 2, and then a 3+ firepower. So I think the 120s are they 2-3? I think they're 2-3, right? 82 is a 1-4. and then 2-3. So
No, the 82s are 1.
yeah, that's what I said. 1-4, and then the 120s are 2-3. Yeah, and then 122s are 3-3s.
Yeah. No. But maybe the plane's a little bit more better for that action. I don't know.
Yes.
By the way,
Never forbid it brings like total air superiority. I mean, having to roll a 5 to get your planes in.
by the way, so a little plug time. I am planning to do a whole show about air power in Flames and Team Yankee. But I'm still looking for someone who's an SME on all things air power. So I'm lining up someone for that. So
Yeah, good luck finding somebody that is all things the air.
I'm lining up someone.
Really? Well,
Oh,
I'm excited to see who you bring on as a SME.
I know people. I know people. I know people who know people.
Yeah.
So, see who can line up. Which, by the way, like I was saying earlier in the beginning of the show, that's what I try to do. Okay, Scott, you're a pilot. Were you a military pilot? So we're seeing here. There's a delay. Waiting for him to come back, but Life for life.
Unfortunately, a little bit before when the Hinds come out.
Yeah. Well, no, I'll cross over. All right, Scott. I'm gonna get a hold of you. Yep. Yeah. Okay. All right, Scott. I'm gonna instant message you. We'll chit chat. See if we make this happen. Okay. Let's talk about putting some of these lists to test. I have a local tournament coming up at the end of the month. That's a migration, and then Wolf Creek, which is at the end mid March, is also migration. So maybe I'll get an opportunity. I think I told him I could play either. I'll probably end up playing Germans, unfortunately, or I don't know.
I think Chad wants to keep it red versus blue for the entire tournament.
Yeah, I told Chad that I'd play either to balance it out.
So currently we're 7-9, 7 Germans, and undecided going to German. But I'm going to call in the morning and get Jake to switch over to German. That'll make it straight up 8 versus 8. So Jake said he was fine with playing Germans for the tournament. So that should help out.
When Scott, are you guys running a tournament or anything like that soon in Huntsville? Oh, okay. Hey, Alabama, is it? Why don't you go ahead and plug that? Alabama on the 16th. They're having a tournament. Why don't you give us a little bit more about it?
This is an opportunity to put it on the events page.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Yeah, I need to take a look at the events page, see how it's going. Yeah, points. Yeah, points and store. Yeah, and the store name. Oh! He wants to do the D-Day Panzer IVs. Yeah, we can practice up for a nationals.
We already talked about that. As I said, I tried to talk you into doing that for Wolfsburg also, but I think he's actually
So there you go. If you're in Huntsville on that time, whoop, actually, if you're in Huntsville, the Station Retro in Huntsville, Alabama. He'll message me the link. I'll go ahead and promote it. But how many players do you have so far, Scott? Sorry for the 20 questions. How many players do you have, and how much room can you have?
I think Ann's doing this. Draw the timeout. Draw the timeout.
Oh no, she's like, God, you have to do this thing for 2
minutes. We got 90 minutes still.
Well, this is the thing. This is interactive. I want you guys.
I heard you mention Panthers.
Yeah.
It's Panther Day. Sorry.
Oh, never apologize for Panzer Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
But Brian. Oh wow, this is gonna be fair. Did you happen to see the Christmas special?
I did not. I think I watched a little bit of it, but I think something about that.
You'd know it if you did.
Yeah, you would know if you did because
it was different.
It was different. It was more of a variety show or anything else. But Ghost Panzer Ghost just was ripping it up, with all the jokes. So it was a little bit different, but it's a Christmas special, right? Okay, yes, we're gonna look for that. So if you're in the Huntsville, Alabama, hey Eric, you could drive up there. I don't know how far that is from you, but there you go. Anyway, I think we've talked about all things, about the 2 lists. I'm still leaning towards the rifle because I just think you have more options. Not that you couldn't do something similar with the shock. It's just I think there's just more options with the rifle.
Yeah, that really helps, and the fact that you can get a 3rd motor rifle in that formation really kind of puts it over the edge for me, even with the other stuff. So let's say that was all taken out. Just that one fact I would lean towards that motor rifle.
Right. Well, I'd say with that, well, let's play with those who are on. What did we learn today? Yeah. And did you learn anything? You gave me like a deer in the headlight. What?
Ellen, that you like the rifle better than the other, the shot?
Yeah, it's slightly better. I think it's just a couple more options. That's what I think it comes down to.
And I also, well, I know this. It's not something I've learned.
Yeah.
You like to tell the story of when you beat Tom.
Well, it's not that. Though it was pretty funny, his T-34s and my Achilles. By the way,
we do love Tom.
Yeah. Extra BAs make it superior. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
No, when I was playing Tom, he set it up all this, and all of a sudden, I was looking at going, boy, what? Because he was trying to minimize that ambush, right? And all of a sudden, I look at the table, and I'm like, oh my God, he missed something. And
it's the cat. The cat is sleeping right behind your thing here.
Oh,
and he's knocking things off.
Well, that's what cats do. That's why the Earth's not flat. Because cats would. Yeah, the basically there was a place where I could put my ambush, see all of his T-34s, and it was say goodnight, Gracie. It was like point blank range with, you know, with the and the thing is he couldn't
Poor
come.
Tom.
Yeah, it was like, oh boy, and yeah. Another thing, I'm not sure if the Storm group is worth it. I don't think it is either. I don't think, you know, first, because here's the thing, they're a four to hit, which makes them great for actually going in. But you don't have enough, you know, you don't have enough units for them to go in. And what are you gonna do? Just have them dig in and hold an objective? What's the point with them hitting twos and assaults and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, they're very expensive, and like I said earlier, there's units in it that aren't going to be overly effective. The little mortar team, PTRD, and HMGs really that makes that group very static, and it's just, you know, to me, it's just not worth the points.
Jake learned that coaches needs a haircut before birds start nesting in that mess.
Again, he's jelly.
Who's that guy in Lord of the Rings with the birds in his hair? He was
The brown wizard.
the brown wizard.
Yeah, the brown wizard.
Did someone already like compare you to that?
No, not yet.
There you go, the brown wizard.
As I've started
something brown. I can't remember his name.
As I've started painting and assembling models, you know, when I lean forward back, it hits me in the eye, and it's probably going to be. I don't think.
Radagast. That's his name. Radagast the Brown.
Radagast.
Radagast the Brown. That's the name. Sorry, I had to look him up because I couldn't remember his name. It was something the Brown.
Well, there you go, Radagast. If you survive this long, make sure that you become a member. Oh, hey, look. Even become, you know, join, become a member, get notifications for this mess. You know, we'll be back next week. Actually, next week, I am going to be reviewing the Soviet Team Yankee book.
Nice.
Yep, bring that in. Especially since I got a tournament under my belt. I can tell you what not to run, that's for sure. Anyway.
T55s, that's all your force needs to contain.
T55s
in a TOS.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. All right, everybody. And you want to go ahead and play us out?
Okay. Hold on a second. What do you want to hear?
Well, something Russian. We're doing Russians.
Okay. Let's do something Russian.
So, a little Russian national anthem.
No one sings better than the Red Army Chorus. They sound so Russian.
They do. Well, that's I think a prerequisite of being in the Russian chorus is to sound Russian.
It's kind of a long national anthem too. So
It is?
we won't. Yeah, I have 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Is it epic? Oh my God! You imagine standing up to this baseball game? Come on, play the damn game!
It's not as bad as the French anthem.
I need a beer. Let's go.
I think the French anthem is still going from our Team Yankee.
Well, you don't want to insult the premier here. Say thank you to your guests.
Yep. Look, hey, another great show. Come on. Look at that. 5 out of 5 stars. Brian, once again, thank you for coming on. sharing your wisdom about the list for here. I hope we helped people out there, and we'll go. All about is to make a more, pleasurable game, and what units to get and maybe what units to avoid.
But in the end, play what you like.
Yeah, that's true.
Game's about having fun.
Yeah, get good at what you like. Play. How much more time on this?
Oh, about a minute and 45 seconds.
A minute 45 seconds.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and fade it out.
It sounds like a shadow going there. Amber waves of green. I mean, what else are they talking about?
I don't know.
I wonder what the translation is. About we, the worker people, and more work. Work will set you free. Work will set you free. No, that's
that
someone else.
was Auschwitz.
Oh, that's someone else.
That was something else, sorry.
Yeah. Holding their lighters. All right. Anyway, bored everyone as they're signing off. Everyone, see you next week. Have a happy and healthy.